Good morning, student. Today's chapter, that is chapter number 5, we have studied regarding separation of substance. Separation of substance. So, today already we have discussed regarding certain separation of substance, how you separate a substance from a mixture. We have some methods we have studied. So, here, one of the method that we are going to study, that is evaporation. Evaporation is nothing but the process of converting liquid to vapor is called evaporation. We'll study what is definition of evaporation. Here, activity 6 is talking about regarding evaporation, how you separate by evaporating from a mixture. A substance is separated from a mixture. So here, take take a eat take a beaker, eat a beaker containing some water. In that beaker, you take a beaker. This is a beaker. We can say this is a beaker, containing beaker. Heat it, supply heat to that beaker. This is a beaker. Here what is there? Water is there. What is there? Water is there. Supply heat. This is heat. Heat. Supply heat. Supply heat to the beaker. Beaker. Supply heat to the beaker. Allow the water to boil. If you continue eating, what happen at a certain stage? If you continue, allow the water to boil. After boiling, if you continue supplying, if you continue to supply heat, what happen? Would the water turn into steam? Yes, the water turn into steam and it will evaporate upwardly. You will study in seventh class why it is this steam is going in upward direction, not in this direction. Why it is not going in this direction? It is going in upward direction. You will study in seventh class. No need to worry. Would the water turn into steam? Yes, it's turned into steam. So what happened here? And disappear completely. If the water liquid start converted into steam and it will disappear completely. So now add 2 spoons of salt to water in another beaker and stir it well. And take another beaker. This is one beaker. You have just done an experiment by boiling it, by supplying heat. Take another beaker. Take another beaker. Here what happen in water? You supply some salt. You supply some salt, put some salt and stir it with the help of spoon. What happen in? Do you see any change in the color of water? Yes, it will turn into a milky color. Milky color. It will turn into white milky color. So what happened? If you had salt in water, it will convert into a little bit white milky color. It appears to be a milky color. So do you see any change in color of water? Yes. Can you see any salt in the beaker? No. After some time, first time, if you are pouring a salt into you are mixing a salt into water, because it will not directly, it will not melt it and it will mix it with water. It will settle at the bottom part. After stirring it, whatever, you will not find any salt settling at the bottom part. What it now? So eat the beaker containing the salt water. Now you take that beaker. You take that beaker here. You added salt. Here salt. What is there? Salt is there. Salt and water. Here what is present? Salt. Salt plus water. What is there here? Mix with the help of spoon. You have stir it and it is mixed with salt and water. Now you supply heat. Now supply heat. If you supply heat, what happen? Let the water boil away. What is left in the beaker? What happen? After supplying heat continuously, if you are supplying heat, what happen? The water gets evaporated, and at the last part, what you will observe? You will find a salt. Solid salt. We use the process of evaporation to separate a mixture of water and salt. Why? If you are if salt is mixed in a water, so you are in what method you are separating salt and water? By evaporation method. This evaporation method is one of the methods in which you can separate salt and water. Not only salt and water, there are various things we will study. So here salt and water is separated with the help of evaporation method. What is evaporation here? The process here, just underline this one. The process of conversion of water into vapor is called evaporation. What is that? The process of conversion of water into vapor. If you are boiling water, what happen? After some time, after boiling, after some time, you will find the water is boiling. After boiled, water is boiled. you will find some steam is some hot airy steam is evaporating upward direction. That is steam. That is gas. So where do you think salt come from? Salt, if you go to nearby sea in Arabian Sea or Mediterranean Sea, you will find what? You will find salt water. Have you ever gone anywhere in the seashore? If you taste that water, you will find salty. So what is there? There is salt is present. Seawater contains many salt mixed in it. One of these salt is the common salt. There are many salts present in seawater, but one is the common salt is present. So common salt we consume. So when seawater is allowed to stand in a cello feet means suppose this is ground level. Here one hole is made. This is one hole is made. Here what happened? Salt water is collected here. Salt water is collected here in a field. So what happened? Due to sun rays, sunlight, this is allowed. This cello feet water gets heated by sunlight and slowly turn into water vapor. What happened? This water which is collected in the cell of it, but with the help of sunlight this water gets heated and it evaporates. What is left? Solid salt is left. This is how this solid salt and then further purification, this is the common salt is prepared. Further purification, common salt is prepared. This is the common salt we are using for our consumption. This is how salt and water is separated by evaporation. Now next we'll see. So here in this activity, what you observe? We observe that water and salt can be separated by with the help of evaporation. So what happened? Use of more than one method of separation. To separate a mixture, we use more than one method. More than one method means what? Evaporation, filtration, decantation, and also we can condensation. These are the process through which to separate a substance we use more than one method. More than one method. We have studied some methods for separation of substance from their mixture. Often one method is not sufficient to separate the different substances present in mixture. One method is not sufficient. Here we use two or three methods to separate a substance from a mixture. Got it now? In a situation, we need to use more than one of these methods. In a situation, we use more than one of these methods. So here we'll study activity 7. Activity 7. Take a mixture of sand and salt. Sand and salt. What you are taking? Mixture of sand and salt. How will we separate this? कैसे हम लोग सैंड को और बालू को सॉल्ट को नमक को कैसे हम लोग सेपरेट करेंगे? So how will you separate? So we already saw that end picking would not be a practical method for separating this. We cannot separate by end picking. We cannot separate by end picking because it is not possible. Salt, the size of the salt is very small, and sand also. So it is impossible to separate with the help of end. So what we have to do? Which process we have to use? Which method you have to use to separate this sand and salt? Keep this mixture in a beaker and add some water to it. What happens? You take a beaker. You take a beaker. In that beaker, you add salt. This is salt. Salt and sand is mixed. Here plus sand. Sand. Salt and sand is mixture, and it is you kept in a beaker. This is salt and sand mixture. What happened? Now you add water. What you are adding? Add water. Now you add water. What happened? If you add water, the sand, you'll find the sand settling at the bottom part. Sand will be settling at the bottom part. The salt, which is mixed in the sand, are slowly it is mixing with water. It will melt and it will mix in water. So what happened? It is now you'll find sand and salt and water. Sand and salt water is completely separated. Completely separated because the salt is mixed with water. Sand is settled at the bottom part. Now what do you have to do? Now what does the so what happened? Now you will find the upper part here, upper part here. What happened? Here you will find sand and salt and water mixed. What happened? By the decantation process, by decantation means what? Decantation means what? You are separating the upper layer of the mixture. You are separating in another beaker. The solid part, or we can say the other mixture is settled at the bottom, that can be kept at the bottom part, and other upper layer will be separated. That process is called decantation. By decantation, you are separating what substances you are separating? Water and salt. Water and salt you are separating. Do you think this water contained the salt which was there in the mixture at the beginning? At the beginning, when you are adding water in water, make sure that there is no there is no salt content in it. So what happened? Pure water is you poured down in the mixture of sand and salt. After what happened? After some time, this salt is mixed with sand, mixed with water. Now, by decantation process, you are separated water and salt. Now, what is left? Sand is left. So, one method you are separated by decantation method. You have separated. Also, we can separate the sand and salt and water by filtration. Also, salt and water will be mixed. That cannot be separated by decantation or filtration. We cannot separate decantation or filtration. This water and salt. Water plus salt cannot be separated by decantation decantation or filtration. You cannot separate by decantation or filtration this water and salt, but we can separate other method. So which method we can use by evaporation. We can use evaporation. After using evaporation, that water will become vapor, that will be exposed to the environment. That again, that can be that we cannot obtain liquid. Then other method we have to use to in order to obtain liquid, in order to obtain water. This water and salt can be separated by evaporation. Now this sand, water and salt, these two sand and water and salt are separated by decantation and filtration. You can see here the diagram. You can see here diagram. What happened here? Here what happened? Now already we have separated water plus sand, water and sand, water plus sorry water water plus salt, SALT, salt. We are separated from where? Sand. We have separated water plus salt from sand by what? By decantation and filtration. By decantation and filtration. Now what do you have to do? Now water and salt must be separated. Which method you have to follow? We have to follow evaporation method. Evaporation means what? Evaporation is the process of converting liquid to vapor. Liquid to vapor. Here you can say, here by supplying heat here. By supplying heat here, you can see here heat. By supplying heat, this here what is there? Water and salt is there. So by evaporation, where now you are taking a pen. In that above that pen, you are keeping this ice bar. Ice, cold ice. We have kept above the pen. What happened? This whatever evaporation, it will come and collected. It will fall on that fan. Above that, it is ice is kept, so that whatever this gas is come in contact with this pen, whatever it will cool down directly, and it will convert into liquid. This process, vapor to liquid, vapor to liquid, vapor to liquid. Conversion of vapor to liquid is known as condensation. What is that? The process of conversion of vapor to liquid is called condensation. Vapor means steam to water. Here water is collected. Here water is collected. Here what is collected? Water. This is water. What is this? This is vapor. Vapor. Vapor to water. Conversion of vapor to water is known as condensation. How many method you have used here? First one is decantation. Next one is decantation, or we can say decantation or decantation or filtration. Next, next is evaporation. Then next is condensation. Now condensation. How many process? Three process. This is one, two, three. Three process, three methods are used to separate a mixture, separate a substance from a mixture. So here we can say use of one or more method to separate a substance from a mixture. So this is how we separate a substance from a mixture. So next, so for today this much. So sixth chapter I will upload tomorrow or day after tomorrow in your app, so that you can write, you can complete the chapter number sixth class. Got it now? So no need to exercise solution, and I will make sure before exam I will upload also this workbook solution. I'm just solving it. Okay. So next we'll talk about, next if you come, we'll talk about can water dissolve any amount of a substance. We'll talk about those headings. What it now? This is the last heading of this chapter. Thank you.